Hello all. So for this discussion board, I decided to look at what the CDC recommends for the flu vaccine, because I know that it changes a bit every year, and that influenza is changing all the time. It changes really fast. So I decided to just kind of run with that. Anyway, the CDC recommends that annual flu vaccinations are done for most people starting at 6 months and older. For adults that are 65 and older, they recommend a higher dose and an adjuvanted vaccine. So an adjuvant is added to the vaccine to make it work better by eliciting a stronger immune response. But just in your standard vaccine, it doesn't have that adjuvant in it. The optimal time to get your flu vaccine is in late October or in September. But late October is the best time to get it. They don't recommend getting it early, so July and August when it becomes available, but it's not recommended for the standard person. If you have children, they will sometimes need 2 doses of vaccine, so they can get it early, and then 4 weeks later they can get their second dose when it's a more optimal time. So if you can't get it in October, it's okay, and it's encouraged to get it in November and December, because flu season really kicks in January. Another thing with recommended timing for getting your flu shot, if you happen to be in your 3rd trimester of pregnancy, you might want to go ahead and get it early, even if it's really out of season. Like, it could be July, maybe even June. But if you get that, it will protect your baby until they're able to get it at 6 months old. So the point of this, there are many flu viruses, and they're changing quickly. So CDC says that the vaccines are reviewed and updated as needed. For this flu season, which is 2022 to 2023, there were 2 recommended updates to the vaccine composition. So the first one was an influenza A strain, the H3N2, and then the second was flu B Victoria lineage. Both of the bases or the foundations or the production method, there are 2 of them. But both of them this season are composed of 2 flu A strains and 2 flu B strains. So I was talking about the base, the ingredient. But the composition, which strains go into the vaccine, actually depends on the production method. So that could be either egg-based or cell/recombinant-based. So, even though the CDC is the one that's in charge of recommending vaccinations and in charge of parasites and bacteria and all that sort of thing, vaccines still have to go through the FDA. So, these recommendations that the CDC is sharing for those changes in the strains, they were made by FDA's Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee. And this was done in March of 2022 based on surveillance data related to the 2021-2022 flu season. So that's briefly how it's done.